should let me love you forever, forever. I wanna love you. Will you let me love you forever, forever and a day, 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 day.
It's Friday. I don't even know what I'm doing. Should it be like this? There we go. Woo!
Woo! You got it.
Welcome to TMW Online, the Melanated Way. I'm Linda. This is Abby, the attorney. We are here on a Friday afternoon. Welcome, you guys. We are covering the new season of 90 Day Fiance, Before the 90 Days, and we love that, right? It's about dating, it's about relationships, all the things. Episode 1, now boarding. A lot going on, you guys. I forgot how long these episodes are. We got used to like an hour here, an hour there, and these are like 2 hours long. You get totally invested. You're like, oh, dating really sucks in 2025, 2026 and beyond. But yeah, here we are.
Mm-hmm. This is a jam-packed episode. I'm so glad they get straight into it and give us some of the stuff going on immediately.
I was like, oh, this is why I feel like dating is so hard. It's so hard. And y'all, I may share some personal things this episode just because I was so invested. I may or may not. It depends. When I was taking my notes, I was like, yeah, I'll share with them. But, you know,
we'll see how you feel when it comes up.
Facts. All right. Let's start with the first, and we got some slides to help y'all out. We are going to start with the first couple, Forest 32. And I want to say the Dailies, Oregon. Is it the Dailies or Dallas?
I don't know any cities in Oregon, so.
I know Portland.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got too is Portland. So we could just pronounce it however you want to. He's from Oregon.
And Sheena and his mom, Molly. Okay, so Sheena's 40 from the Philippines. What I did think was interesting here, Abby, is that we don't really see her at all. No pictures of her. Like, we saw pictures of everyone else. So we have a picture of her on the screen. But I thought it was interesting because I was like, okay, what's really going on here? Is this going to be like a scam situation? Because we're not seeing anything about this Sheena girl this whole entire episode. And I know next episode we do see a little something, but it was a little suspect to me.
It is a little suspect because now I'm thinking about it, and I feel like in the preview of next week, we saw him talking to a person, but we didn't see who he was talking to.
Exactly. So what's up with that?
Well, we'll find out.
Right. So security cameras everywhere, you guys, in his house, and she watches him 24/7. And he's cooking his breakfast. She's like on the camera saying, don't burn the eggs like last time. And I thought, wow, this is really super creepy. You all haven't met. And she's like zooming in on you, seeing your every move. Like, what is happening here, Forrest? So
you know what I was thinking?
What?
This is so AI. Like, her presence in his life is like a computer, like a robot, like not a real person, just like everything else in his house. Did you feel that kind of vibe?
Yeah, I felt like, oh, this is really a mess already, and I'm only 5 minutes into the episode.
Right.
I was like, oh Lord, what is happening right now? Like, we cannot be. First of all, I knew something, not that, okay, you guys, this is going to sound wrong, and I don't mean it this way, but I knew like something was different about him. He was too like, you're 32 and what's happening right now, right? So that was my mindset. And now he has a smart home with cameras watching his every move. And as we go through the episode, we find out more and more about him. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I said from the beginning too, I think we're going to find out that he is autistic.
Oh, we do find out.
Yeah.
So sensors, light bulbs, has a girlfriend who has 24 access to everything and all the things about him. And he likes it. It feels like it comforts him, he says. She's always around. So you can imagine like a camera watching you in every situation. Like, I personally wouldn't like that. You know, there's sometimes I come home and I'm probably doing crazy stuff that I don't want someone else seeing. I just don't know.
Yeah.
They've been dating for 7 years. She's from the Philippines, but they've never met in real life. And you guys, oh God. What are your thoughts on that? Because I just personally feel, and you guys know this from all the years that you guys have been watching us, you're not dating if you've never met in real life. You may be entertaining some online situationship, but you're not dating.
Right. Well, something happened conflicting in the episode that made me not understand this. Hey, Joslo. Hey, Olivier. Hey, Mitchell. Something happened because originally he said, I've been saving money to go to the Philippines. And I'm like, okay, maybe. Like, that's why you haven't got there in 7 years. But then later on, it was, we've been sending money that she's supposed to be saving, and something's happening to that money. So because of this conflicting stories, I don't know why it's been 7 years. So there needs to be more questions about that. I mean, we'll get to it, but like the information is not adding up.
Yeah, the math is not mathing. And first of all, what do you do for a job, Forrest? You've been sending money, and we find out later in the episode that this is not the first woman that you've been sending money to abroad. 7 years, you've never met in real life. You have all these weird toys and stuffed animals that represent your pretend kids to your pretend relationship. You guys, I'm trying to be open-minded, but it seems a little weird to me. I watch all the true crime, and listen, this is sounding like a setup to me. Sounds like a setup, and it sounds like this is about to, and the simple fact, like we said at the top of our show, that they don't even show a picture of her. It sounds suspect. Now, we popped up, and I'll put it up one more time. We popped up, this is supposedly her, right? So it looks like they took a picture together. I mean, with AI nowadays, you never know, but that's what's supposedly them. I don't know. I feel suspect, but he has all these teddy bears, and it's representative of their kids in the future. And y'all, there's at least 10 teddy bears. So what? And I thought, okay, go for it. But we learned a little something later that I'm like, oh, this is why he's being this way. So they have what they call on camera, where they have, sexy time online. And after 7 years of this relationship, and I air quote it, and I say that very loosely, he's going to go to the Philippines with his mom and his stepdad so they can support him while he meets his 7-year girlfriend for the first time in real life. And I just don't, how do you feel about that? Would you go meet your significant other that you've never met in real life in real time? You're in your 30s with your parents, Abby?
Well, I don't have the relationship with my mom that he has with his mom. Love her, but we're not like that. We don't have those kind of conversations. So no, but I would take a friend. Like I would ask a friend, are you comfortable with going? Because I would think if this goes south, if it doesn't end up really being a relationship, then I could still at least visit the country and have my friend there.
Yeah, I'm taking a friend. I'm taking a few friends. Definitely not taking my mom, because y'all know my mom is African. That is all that's all I need to say. But they have a very unique relationship, very close, I would suspect. I think that she knows her son, so she's also, in my opinion, over-parenting. But she's taking to him a sex shop, and they give the backstory that when he was 18, the mom and her husband are into all of that stuff. He gets into some of her adult stuff, and that's where she knows he has some curiosity, but 18, who doesn't? And so that was the first time that she brought him so that he could have his own stuff and not be in her stuff, which I just thought was like I would never, and I could never have that relationship nor talk with my family.
I respect this so much, because I would assume that part of what her concern is there's so much stuff out there that is very demeaning to women. And if your son is wanting to be introduced to these kinds of things, let's say these types of corn, you know, some strands are particularly harmful. So her getting in there and I'm assuming trying to guide him towards the things that are not demeaning towards women, but also satisfy his curiosities, I think is like a good way for a mom to be hands-on. I don't know if that's coming out the way that I'm hoping that it's coming out, but
Yeah, no, I mean,
like,
that makes sense what you're saying. I don't know. Yeah, I
if you
guess.
could do it.
Yeah, no, I
I
don't
mean,
think.
I think it's really important, especially now when we see so many guys going into that alt-right pipeline and they're
Mhm,
getting introduced to it through various corn-related media. I
mhm.
think it's really imperative for moms to be very careful of what their kids are watching on YouTube and, you know, what kind of things are coming up on their screens because it's out there. And even if you're a person who's looking to consume things that are consensual, it
Mhm.
still might get pushed off on you, the things that are not. So you just got to be careful.
Joslo agrees with you.
Yeah. Okay. Jocelyn, I'm glad you get it because I was like having trouble figuring out how I could say it on YouTube.
So Forrest says his mom is his best friend. So they go to this shop. She recommends that he gets a little lingerie for Sheena. And she's like, so, what's her favorite color? Like, what does she like? And he's like, I think purple is her favorite color. And then we learned that Forrest is autistic and has ADHD. And, it, Abby and I covered, what did we cover, Abby?
Match Me Abroad.
Match Me Abroad and Harold. So we are now really familiar with dating and being autistic and all of that. And that's when it all clicked in for me. I was like, oh yeah, he has similar tendencies as far as I'm concerned so far, and it's only episode 1 of Harold. I
Mm-hmm.
recognize that. What were your thoughts?
Oh, same. I mean, when he talked about, you know, a few years ago, I was having a hard time and my mom put me in a group. I was like, somewhere on Asperger's, autism, somewhere in the spectrum here.
Yeah. So autism and ADHD. So now I understand why the mom is being very motherly, right? And a little overly motherly in my personal opinion, but I also get that she's trying to protect her son. So, she was worried about her son, so she added him to a Facebook group so that he could start to meet people and mix and mingle online. And that is how he met Sheena. And so they started talking, they hit it off, and 7 years later, haven't met, but they are both convinced that they are in a relationship. They go to buy this purple lingerie, and the salesperson's like, what does she like? What does she look like? And he's like, oh, she's about 5 feet, 200 pounds. And the mom's like, no, that's not what we say. We say she's like queen size. I thought that was cute, right? Very body positive, all of that. But like, there's no way he's gonna know that. Do
Yeah,
you know
he
what I
was
mean?
being literal. He was literally answering the question.
Yeah, I was like, queen size, okay. I mean, I don't think that would, because that wasn't the first thing it came to my mind. My mind was like, okay, he's describing exactly what she looks like.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I don't think that that's wrong.
Yeah.
Anyways, we also find out that they've only had online sexy time. He's a virgin. He's never even kissed a woman before. So not only is he a virgin, he's never kissed anyone before. And allegedly, and I don't know why I just said that, but allegedly, Sheena's a virgin as well. That's a lot going on. You guys are in a specific store, you're with your mom, mixing autistic, ADHD, 7-year relationship, never met, the cameras, the sensors. lingerie. It's a lot.
It's a lot. And let's
It's
throw
a
one
lot.
more thing in the mix. You mentioned like what kind of job is he doing? Where does he get his money from? What made me curious about that is when they said that he's living on Filipino time.
That
So what are you doing that you're able to alter your timeline here? Like I won't even date somebody who lives in LA.
you're not missing out.
Timeline. Time that no, excuse me. I'm
Yeah,
not
so
no.
that was something that was also really crazy. So he has these blackout curtains and he sleeps all day. And then at 3 a.m., he wakes up so he can be on the same timeline as she is in the Philippines. I was like, do you work?
Hey, when do you get your chores done? Like when do you do your normal daytime activities?
When do you socialize with people that live in your neighborhood?
Exactly.
Like,
It doesn't sound like he does.
I mean, and it doesn't feel like he does either. And then I thought this was so cute. So him and his mom are having a disagreement at the store, and she says, "Gosh darn it." It's something I've never said in my entire life. I had to write it down, but hilarious. Gosh darn it. There's something going on with her parents. The mom thinks that Sheena's dishonest, thinks that the parents are scammers. They, who have never met in real life, Abby, formed a joint bank account where Forrest pours money into for their future. And all of a sudden, the money was gone. And Sheena said that her parents stole it. So he reloaded, refunded, and it happened for a second time. And then the mom says, boom, boom. Is that how you say it? I don't even know. Boom malarkey. Because we find out that previously Forrest was scammed by a girl in Indonesia and sent her a bunch of money, finally went to meet her, and things fell apart, and it was a scam. So the mom's worried that he's now being scammed for a third time, and she's not wrong. So Forrest wants to like assert his independency and tells his mom at the store that, oh, by the way, yeah, you and Dev, his stepdad, are coming with me, but I'm going to stay longer because I'm really going to try to work out this 90-day process so I can have Sheena come back with me. And the mom's like, absolutely not. No. When I go, you go. And I feel like that's the right answer. What do you think?
I don't think that she needs to worry about it right now. I think that this is a problem she could put off for later on down the road and just say, okay, we'll talk about that when it comes up, because if things go wrong when they first get there, okay, now have the conversation, but there's no need to react to it right now.
Yeah, but do you not think that it's better to prepare him so that he's not surprised, especially because he's autistic and like it's processes with autism?
I think you could talk about it like, okay, so if you're going to stay, what have you told your job? If you're thinking about staying, how are you going to still pay your bills here? Who's going to take care of your cats or any other, things that you have here, your plants? I think you can ask those kind of questions in a
And what is your job?
Yeah, what is your job in a preparedness kind of way, but her absolutely not. No. Nobody reacts well to you telling them what they're going to do.
Fair enough. Anything you want to add about
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to add is because he is already talking about like filing a petition for her. It sounds like to me in his mind, he thinks that's going to be a quick process, like apply for her and then I'll stay there until she can come back with me. That is not a quick process. That is like a year-long process at best, maybe 8 months. So it's not nearly as quick as it sounds like he thinks it is to get the K visa processed.
And does he have to even be there to start the process? Can he start it from America?
Well, he has to at least meet her one time before he can submit the application. So he could either meet her, come back and do the application, or meet her and then apply while he's there for it. But they have to meet in person at least one time. There are a few exemptions for like religions or harsh hardship, but everybody else, you have to meet at least one time in person before you can file the petition.
So technically, he doesn't have to stay later like he wants to.
No.
He met her. He could go back with his mom and then file a petition.
He could, but he's saying he wants to stay until she can come with him, as if that's going to be a simple process, and it's not. That takes several months. However, it's not a horrible, like if his life works out that way where he can afford to stay there, it's not a horrible idea, because I personally hate when people meet only one time and then they think that when the person arrives in the United States, now we have a chance to see if we get along. No, that's not what it's for. You're supposed to have already decided that you get along and you want to be in a relationship together, and that 90 days is just for you to plan a wedding.
Yes, we say this day in and day out on our show. The 90 days is not for you to get to know your fiance. You should have been there, done that, and now you're planning your wedding, like Abby said. I just want to say the live chat, y'all are entertaining me. Some of the stuff I will never read out loud, but it's very entertaining. Keep it pushing and keep it going. Okay, so let's move on to Emma. Oh, that's not Emma. That's Laura. Emma is this one right here. Emma from Los Angeles, California. 27. And what are your overall thoughts before I get into this, Abby?
So I think that Emma is probably just a really nice, lovely person. Unfortunately, incredibly male-centered, and that will be her downfall.
Male-centered.
I didn't hear her talk about any hobbies or interests that she has of her own. I didn't hear her talk about any future goals that she has career-wise. All that we heard her talk about is people she's dated in the past, that she wants to be engaged, that she wants to be in a relationship. And to have that singular focus with no other interest, I think is a dangerous place to be.
I hear you. Absolutely hear you. So the opening scene is her in a wedding dress, which totally threw me, right? Because I was like, oh, wow, she's like, they're getting married. But it was not her getting married. She was just trying on dresses because her dream is to be married and, you know, the whole thing. I want a husband. I want to get married. She didn't even really talk about kids. It was just about the marriage. She loves how she looks in a wedding dress, but it wasn't even really for her because her friend was getting married and her friend was supposed to be trying on dresses, but she popped in and started to try on dresses as well. And I was like, oh, okay. So we're just going to be messy right off the bat. Let's do it. She lives with her sister, Izzy. She's twins. They're both in the beauty industry, beauty and Botox, they call it. They work for competing medical spas. And I'm not sure where you guys are in the world, but the medical spas in Los Angeles, they're and they do all the things, right? From Botox to lipo to BBLs to fillers to whatever. So I thought it was interesting that the two twins worked literally across each other at competing med spas. Both look gorgeous. Both look like, hey, listen, we partake in everything that we sell. So good on them. Their dating personalities as twins is completely different. I'm going to pull this off the screen real quick so that we can talk a little bit more. Here we go. Izzy takes her time meeting people, and Emma, according to Izzy, is boy crazy, and she falls in love after one shot of tequila. You give her 2 shots of tequila and she's going home with you. 3 shots and y'all are going to get married. And that's just how she is. And it goes back to what Abby was saying earlier. Like, she, in my opinion, is really consumed with getting a man, catching a man, being with a man, being in a relationship, being married. And that's her full identity. And I find that interesting because she's young, right? Here it says 27. The pictures say 28 because, they filmed last year. So I find it interesting. I find it interesting that young generation is still like, what is your identity as a woman? But I also do think that comes with age, because I also think of when I was like 27 and still finding myself. I wasn't like wrapped up like that because I grew up with all brothers, so I really know how they were and how they are.
Right.
And I was stuck on travel. Like, travel was the love of my life. And so, you find yourself, and everyone's a little different. What about you, Abby?
Same thing. Really quick, Langston, your mom doesn't want you in here. We're talking about big people things. I love you so much. We can hang out another day, but you gotta get out of the chat, okay, babe? He's
Bye,
my
Langston.
he's my good friend's son.
Langston's got to go. Adult stuff, adult behaviors, adult talk.
Right. So, yeah, Emma, I feel for you, because we actually are growing up in a world that I think wants to create women who are singularly focused, but it's not. I mean, I haven't seen any situations where anyone's benefited behind it. Do you see how many like women grow up to be like wives and stay-at-home moms just to get betrayed by their spouses in the end? And then they have nothing. They haven't spent any time building up a career. They haven't spent any time building up their friendships. They haven't learned any like different kinds of skills. They just end up, 40 plus, with no ability to even hire an attorney to defend them in the divorce. So I don't know, man. Just don't put all your eggs in a man. There's so many other things you can do and be.
I say, make sure you know who you are, right? And if your life dream was to have a wedding, get married, be a mom, and stay at home mom, there's really nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. But also know who you are. Like, outside of being a mom, who are you? What were your interests before you met your partner? What were the things that made you happy before you met your partner, so that you still have those things as your kids grow and become their own people? And your husband is like, hey, what are you about? And then you're wondering why your marriage is upside down, because you guys had nothing in common, and you didn't find out who you were. So, find out who you are and know who you are and stand on that. When people say stand on business, stand on business. It's okay to be your own person as well as you can be a stay-at-home mom. You could be a submissive, you could do all the things, but you could still be someone who has their own interests and loves and concerns and opinions. That's fine too.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, Emma downloaded an international dating app, met Ziad 15 minutes later. They started talking, and bam, boom, within a week, they just were talking about getting married, and they started planning the marriage. They've never met, but they're about to be married. Now, one of the things we find out about Emma, 27, is that she's been down this road before. So her previous ex-fiance is also from Morocco. His name was Mohammed. And that was her first Moroccan boyfriend. And she loved him, but it didn't work out. And so this is not brand new. This is something that she is thinking is a pattern for her, which, I get. We have a type and we're like, oh, this is going to be my type and I'm going to go for it. And I think this guy's hot and he's Moroccan. So now I'm into Moroccans, and that's what she's doing. And so she's going to marry Ziad, who she's never met in real life. Now, y'all, I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. And this is what I believe. It's not a real relationship if you guys have not spent time in real life. It's not a real relationship even if it's long distance, you've done like a week there and you came back and that person doesn't know your environment. That's not a real relationship. It's not a real relationship if you've gone there for 3 days and that person comes here for 2 days and now you're still in a relationship. It's not. You've gone on holiday. You've seen them for 3 days on holiday. It's going to be amazing, obviously, because you're on holiday. They've come to see you for 2 days for a weekend. Great. It's going to be amazing because it's all going to be sexy business and great things. And then they're going to go back. But y'all have no real life experiences together. You've never lived together. You've never done day-to-day stuff together. You don't have like the day-to-day stresses. No one's picking up babies. No one's driving to work and it's stuck in traffic. No one's making dinner. Do you even know if they cook? Do you even know what they like to eat? Are you all just going out to dinner and having sexy time and woo, it's all great and love and roses and oh my God, I'm in love. Let's get married. So I can't imagine now that you've never met in real life and now you're engaged. What does that even look like? Abby?
I don't ask me. I don't. Here she's begging for a ring again. Like, how you poor mouthing for a ring?
Jocelyn says, same old story. Yeah, we're not about to do is any of that. This is
right.
I am about to say we're 2026 basically.
Right.
Women, what is happening? There are too many. Listen, dating is trash. I get it, but you just gotta put yourself out there and like eventually weed through the thorns and you'll find someone. But what you're not about to do is forget that you're the prize and now you're begging for rings. You're accepting nonsense behavior. You're committing to people that you've never met in real life. Like, hey, you know what? I had this conversation. I went on this date. This will be the first. You guys are limited to 3 personal things. So now you get to choose what they are. So the first personal thing, I went on this date not too long ago. And we had gone on a couple of dates. And he basically wanted to lock it down. He's like, oh, stuff. Are you dating other people? It's like, well, yeah, that's what dating is, right? So to me, dating is you're dating like multiple people until, and I'm not saying you're being sexual with them or intimate with them. I'm saying you're going out on dates and getting to know people, multiple people, until one person, or maybe even 2, I don't know, whatever your preference is, but one person sparks your interest that you want to now be exclusive and only date them and figure out what that is. And then you're in a relationship. That's how I look at dating. Some people look at dating that you only supposed to date one person at a time and figure out what that looks like. So this person was of that mindset. So after 2 dates, you know, he was bothered that I was not only dating him, but I was like, well, we've only been on 2 dates. I don't even really know you. Like, I couldn't even tell you your last name because I don't even think I know it. It's been 2 days. One was like a coffee date, which was like light and friendly and, you know, maybe an hour or half or so. Next week, yeah, you go to dinner and you spend like more time, but also I still don't know you. So am I going to say, yeah, no, I'm going to be exclusive with you and let's go from there? Absolutely not. Doesn't make sense to me. I need to know you could be a crazy killer. And I don't know that. So I should commit to you after 2 small little dates, less than 5 hours together. Stop messing around. He didn't like it. So he literally, Abby gave me an ultimatum. He gave me an ultimatum after 2 dates.
That's just the trash taking itself out.
You think there was a 3rd date?
No.
Let me know in the live chat. That would be the question of the day. Y'all think there was a 3rd date? Let me know. Watch the plays. Let me know if there was a 3rd date. That being said, I just want you guys to be careful with what you guys are thinking are real relationships, what you think you deserve, what you're investing your time and energy in, because as you're putting all your eggs in one basket, there might be another basket that is more amenable to what you're looking for, but you don't know because you've allowed this man to convince you that it has to be this one way. Emma goes to the beach and she's FaceTiming with Ziad. She's going to be flying to Morocco shortly to meet him for the first time. Now he gaslights her and says, yes, you guys, hello, 90 Dayers. We've been with 90 Day for what, 20 years? I don't know how long it's been, but it's been a long time. We've met another Ziad from
Mhm.
Morocco. We know the Muslim culture. Okay. We know it. But this Ziad is telling her, yeah, no problem. We can kiss and do all the affection in public. It's okay because we don't care about what other people say, all the things. He says all of that, you guys. Keep that in the back of your mind because they replayed it 2 times just so that we know that Emma wasn't crazy in what she heard and what she believed, right? Because she's also showing that she's a sexual being and that's important to her. And I kind of love that, Abby, about this storyline is because so often women can't express their sexual beings because they're labeled a bunch of stuff and they're this and they're that, they're this. But it's the same things that men think of that they're like, oh, you're the man. Women get labeled something else. And I love the fact that she's owning up to, hey, listen, I'm 27, I'm in my prime. These are the things that are important to me. These are the things that I want to do. Are you with it or are you not? She's showing exactly what her needs are. She's stating them very clearly. Ziad is agreeing with her. And so that's where we are. Abby, you want to say something?
Yeah, and the only criticism I have of Emma with regards to her openness on sexuality and her preferences is that don't turn your nose up to the uncircumcised. Okay, you just have to make sure that the person you're dating has good hygiene. Okay, because we want to move away from mutilation, not towards it. That's it.
She also adds that she wants to do everything on night 1. And she sends them sexy nudes, all the things, again, exploring and expressing her sexuality. He has not done any of that. It was the first little red flag that was flying for me. And I was saying that because he's giving lip service. The other thing, women, that I really, really, really want you to pay attention to is that words are amazing. But if someone is a manipulator or a narcissist or even just great with words, they're going to be able to convince you with their words a bunch of stuff. It's their actions. It's their actions that are going to tell you who they really are. Smiling in your face and saying, yes, oh, yes, baby, we're going to do this. And yes, of course, baby, of course. That is all BS until you see the actions. If the actions don't follow through the words, then they're just talking and they're talking in the language that you want to hear. So you're not actually really processing, you're just absorbing it because that's what you want to hear. And they know that. So, you know, pay attention to that as well. we get reintroduced to her sister, well as her brother Zach. And they are reminding us of Muhammad and her engagement and how that whole thing was a mess. And we learn a little bit about their backstory. So she went over to Morocco, they got engaged, and on her way back, she had a funny feeling. And so she went on social media, she saw a message that she didn't like. So this shows her age a little bit as well, as far as I'm concerned. She messaged every girl that he was following because she suspected him of cheating. And turns out, in her opinion, or what she is telling us, is that he had 20 other girlfriends. 20, 20 other girlfriends that he was talking to or dating. And he found out that she messaged all these people in his social media. So he called her, said she was crazy and that he was done. And again, you guys, that just shows me that maybe it wasn't 20 girls, but he was doing something. He got caught and was embarrassed because more than one girl probably reached out to him like, what's happening? And now he's mad and he's lashing out on her and making it her fault and making her seem like she's crazy. But I mean, is it excessive to reach out to a bunch of women that you don't know and say XYZ? It's excessive, but ladies, don't ever not follow your gut instinct. Had she not followed it, she may have married him and she would have been stuck in a crazy relationship. What are your thoughts, Abby?
I believe in gossiping. You know, and I'm saying people, men in the past, like you can look up past societies where men tried to outlaw gossiping and outlaw women being able to socialize with each other, because they didn't want us to talk about their bad deeds behind their backs.
Yeah.
So I believe in gossiping. If anybody is dating my ex-husband and they want to come talk to me about it, I got you, girl. I'll tell you stories.
Don't message me about my ex-fiance. I'm not into it. Live on your own. I don't have time for nonsense.
Yeah, and I appreciated too the last person that I was dating. I posted a video of us together and somebody hit me with the "Hey girly." Now, she had the wrong person. It was somebody who looked similar to him. It wasn't the right person, but I still told her, "I appreciate that. I appreciate that you wanted to let me know, but this person is Hispanic."
I mean, definitely be a girl's girl, you guys. Be a girl's girl. Don't be a hater. Be a girl's girl for sure. Because like Abby said, what goes around comes around, and you may need it sometime in the future. Yeah. Let me just reiterate, don't message me. I just want to be very clear about that. I am not interested in hearing anything about anything.
Linda says she ain't Barbara nor Shirley. Okay?
Nah, nope. You can message me about anybody else, but just not him. That being said, she's going to go to Morocco. We find out that Ziad, her current boyfriend, future husband, in her opinion, does not know about her ex-fiance, Mohammed, doesn't know like anything about that. And so she's going to want to tell him, or saying that she wants to tell him when she gets there. Her brother thinks that that's just like a terrible idea. We also find out that she got fired from her job. And long story short, her and her work friend were together. The work friend said something that was not HR appropriate to another coworker. HR approached her and said, "Did you know and hear this?" And she should know she wasn't there. And she got fired for withholding information. And so now she has no job. She's about to go to Morocco to meet her fiance that she's never met in real life, who also doesn't know that she's already been to Morocco and has had another Moroccan fiance. So there's a lot going on there that is, not truthful, but here we are.
Right.
The other thing that drove me crazy that could not be me. Apparently he works at a cafe. He's 27, which, okay, I get. He's finding himself, but he's given her all the excuses already set up that, things are hard in Morocco, jobs are sparse. So he's expecting her to pay for everything. Listen, y'all, it could not be me. That is not the type of relationship I want. Period. Full stop. If you are the man and we are doing this whole traditional man-woman situation, which I tend to be in those type of relationships, that's in line with my values and beliefs, but that's a whole other story. What I'm not about to do is be paying for you. You are not my child. You're grown. What did you do before you met me? Like, no. Nope. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Do I need nice things and am I a giving person? Anyone that knows me knows that that's who I am. But what I'm not about to do is sponsor a relationship. That's nope. Nope. Abby?
I have so many feelings about this because this is a country where the majority of men, you might meet the, oddball out, but the majority of the men want to have a traditional relationship. And so if they're already asking you for money or telling you that they want you to pay for things, I think the thing that you want to find out, if that's okay with you, I think the thing that you want to find out is this who they are as a person? Do they buck all of the norms in their culture and religion? Or are they only doing it when it comes to me paying for stuff and they still want me to be subservient in every other area? I am not interested in paying for things. But if you're interested in, if you don't mind paying for things, I think that is the question that you want to get the answer to. Because why would you fund your own subservience?
Absolutely not. You were the man, you were courting, you were paying, period, full stop. That's what I believe. I don't care about
And
anything
Marrakesh
else.
is not even that expensive. Like the fact that he's asking her to pay for a place for them to stay, literally you can get a nice riad for like 14 USD a night. So asking her to pay for everything while she's there is ridiculous in my opinion. I think that he should just say, this is what kind of place I have booked for us to stay. Is this acceptable for you? Show her what your money can pay for. And if she then says, I don't want to stay there, I'd rather stay at like a hotel with a spa or something, fine. But the fact that he's not even negotiating and just letting her pay for everything. But this is also the danger of being with somebody who's so male-centered.
No.
So I don't know. Emma, it does literally seem like, just based on one episode, that you are a very nice person. Like you have siblings that you have relationships with, but I wish that you had more going on in your life and you didn't feel like having a man was the end all be all.
Yeah, I'm really actually curious too, because her and her sister seem so different, like what that dynamic was, having a brother in the household. Like what's that dynamic with your family, your parents, and all the things? Because that just doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem right to me. Something's going on. Brother and sister drive her to the airport. The brother says, for the love of God, take it slow, please.
He's tired.
Right, he's tired. He's tired. For the love of God, please. We meet Ziad. Emma, he says, is his first true love. And I want you guys to remember all the things I said about actions and words. Emma is his first true love. And his first message to her was, hello, wifey. He finds her very sexy, very sweet, very fun. He feels like they understand each other and they're about to meet for the first time. And it's his first American girl. So he's a little bit nervous, but for some reason, he has all the right words to say. That being said, Emma Lenz changes her outfit and she changes into this very beautiful, sexy dress, which I just thought was interesting for Morocco specifically. Because she talked about him being Ziad, texting a bunch of rules while she was on the plane. And so he's already led her to believe that it's going to be okay to kiss and be affectionate in public. Now she has this sexy outfit on in this very, very culturally conservative country. And he lets her know that, yeah, when you get here, we can't kiss in public. Even though he told her multiple times that he doesn't care what other people think, they can do what they want. And so now all the rules come up, which I have to tell you, Abby, I'm sorry if this sounds stereotypical, but this is not the first time I've seen this situation happen with Moroccan men. They've said a bunch of stuff, then the person gets there in the 90 days, and all of a sudden there are a bunch of different rules than what you've been saying the whole time you've been corresponding. This is not brand new behavior. It seems like that's something that they do. What are your thoughts?
And same. We've seen a lot of Moroccan men and Indian men specifically who have vocalized that they think it's okay to say whatever the other person wants to hear and then tell them later on what the truth is. And they think that there's a difference between a lie versus just waiting until the right time to say something. We've heard them vocalize. They think that is completely acceptable.
Yeah, fascinating to me. You guys let us know what you think in the live chat or in the replay. Don't forget to like and subscribe, you guys. Like and subscribe. That really helps both of us and my channel as well as Abby, the attorney's channel. Anything else you want to add before we move on to Laura?
That's it. Let's get into Laura. I love her story. I like all of these people. They're very interesting.
Okay, so I'm going to let you start then. Overall thoughts on Laura and, well, it's not really Michael, but I'm going to say Laura, Michael, and Burkham.
Laura, Michael, and Birkin. First of all, I love the way that Laura is living her life. She is doing everything that she's interested in and not wasting any time. And I just really love a well-rounded person like that. Also, super proud of her for the big changes that she made coming out of COVID with respect to changing her health and diet and her activities. I have so much empathy for Michael. I am going to say something critical about him, but I have so much empathy for him. As a kid, growing up with a birth defect, you guys know I've already shared that I had major surgery as a kid. So I grew up with, I still have a birth defect. It happened when I was born. I was born breech and I got stuck in the canal, in the birth canal. So they believe that's where all of this came from because I've had problems ever since then. And so I have so much sympathy for him, assuming that we're around the same age. I'm 45, because growing up with a disability back then, so different from growing up with a disability now. Such a different perspective and how you were treated in school. I'm sure like bullying still exists, but I think that it was super abhorrent around the time that I was a kid. Like super bad, unchecked, and we were just told you need to have thicker skin. So I have so much empathy for him, but I'm also going to be critical of him here in a little bit. But I just love the way that Laura is living her life.
Yeah, so for this first episode, for me, she seems the most well-adjusted. She also seems like she knows how to communicate her needs and wants, and so I'm very impressed by that. 47 from Vancouver, Washington, not to get it twisted with Vancouver, BC, where I'm from. And her BFF, Michael, which we'll get into shortly. She's a 5th grade teacher, loves to talk, loves to communicate. Her friends got her onto AI because she obviously has a lot of questions and all the things. And so now she really has an AI relationship where her day-to-day life, she's talking to AI to get answers to all of her questions and to help her in her day-to-days. And she's into smutty romance novels. She might be a little bit of a writer. She gave us a sample of something that she wrote, and I thought that's absolutely up that whole genre.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead, Laura, and work that out. I think you would do well. She got married when she was 21, didn't work out. She's dated, she's been engaged, all the things, but for whatever reasons, nothing has really panned out for her. And then she met Michael. And they met during pickleball. They hang out all the time. They cook together. They hike together. They bike together. They line dance together. They spend every waking minute together. But that's not her boyfriend. That is her best friend. And so while she's been spending all this time with Michael, she went online, met a guy from Turkey, and she is now going to go to Turkey to meet Burkham. And it's confusing, and things are confusing between her and Michael, her best friend, and her going to Turkey to meet who she thinks may be the love of her life, Burkham, because again, they spend all their time together, and she's like, well, I guess he's just my best friend. And she says that because something happened in the past that I'll get to shortly, but she just friend zoned him. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that before we get into what exactly happened with them. But so if you went on a date, Abby, okay, so let's say you met someone and you went out with them a lot of times, but they weren't showing any romantic interest in you outward. Would you think that they just thought of you as a friend?
Yes, I would probably ask directly because that would be my little bit of my tism coming through. and I have asked directly. I've asked guys directly, hey, we're having a great time. Are we flirting? And if they say no, okay, I back off. We can continue being friends. But what's happened to me in the past is that they'll say no, but then they lean in heavier with the trying to flirt, and that's confusing to me. So then I pull back because I need you to tell me exactly what's going on. I don't want to assume anything. I got a little something in my eye.
You all right?
Tissues here. Yeah.
While you
Yeah.
sort that, so
Wait, can we go through the timeline for Laura, or do you want to go more into like what's happening now, the timeline of Laura and Michael? Because I don't think that I have their story right of what happened between them.
we'll get there because I am
Okay.
just going by my notes. So she went on an app, BeerCon, and she was just looking for like some holiday filters, and then she found this like find a friend feature, and she didn't know anything about it, and Michael kind of told her about it, so she went on it, and that's how she met her Turkish boyfriend Burkham. And she likes him because he has a bad boy aesthetic. He's only 26, she's 47. He works at a cafe. So while they're playing pickleball with their friends, she's explaining all this stuff. And the friends say it's a winter spring romance. I think people call it May December as well, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And this has now made Laura's relationship with Michael, who we just talked about, who she spends all her time with, which is her best platonic friend. It's made the relationship weird because Laura's leaving for Turkey in a few days, and she and him have not had any type of conversation, even though it's like we're friends, but are we more than friends? Are we not more than friends? Like, what is it? So they're at her place, they're making protein bars. And here's something, this is the second thing I'm going to tell you guys that is personal, because I said I would do 3. So I'm on number 2, making protein bars. And one of the things that I loved about Laura is that her being so candid and communicative. So during COVID, she said that her weight was out of control. She was 315 pounds, and she lost 140 pounds strictly dieting and exercising in 14 months. And she still has some insecurities about her weight. Now, I can absolutely relate. During the pandemic, I gained a bunch of weight, you guys, so much weight. I couldn't even fit any of my clothes. And it wasn't until, what's crazy to me, Abby, is like looking back on it, it wasn't until August of last year, I had like a health scare and I fainted, and that changed the course of my life. And so I started working on health and fitness since August of 2024. And I haven't lost 100 pounds, but like I've lost like a good 65 pounds, you guys, since COVID. And that is all like health and fitness and walking and proper diet. And I think I've told you guys this before, but during COVID, I was vegan, and I did that raw vegan. If you remember, Abby, I was raw vegan for like a year. And one of the things that my nurse practitioner told me, and I really encourage women specifically, but Black women particularly, because of our iron, because of blood pressure and all of that stuff, it's really important to, before you start any diet, to get a blood test and make sure that that diet is in line with your body, your type, and all the things. Because you may think you're eating healthy, like you would think that, oh, I'm only eating raw vegetables and all the things is super healthy, but it was detrimental to me, my body personally.
Right.
And so yeah, it's really important to just like be open and honest with the things that you're going through. And I share this to encourage women, because we are always like, under such stress for everything and all the media and all the things, and a lot of it's not real and all the things, but whatever's going to make you happy and secure and confident in and of yourself, then that's what I support. If that's a nip tuck, if that is, the new thing is the GLP-1s, if it's diet and exercise, if it's not even doing anything and just being happy with how you are, then and be that and own that and be okay with that.
Mhm.
Because there's too much outside noise that really does affect our securities about who we are as women. So yeah. So that being said, she shares that she's making these protein bars to take with her so she can stay on track while she's away. And this is where Michael and Laura are having some conversations. So she developed feelings for him, but she would never really pursue it, because when she would, he would push her away. And so it was confusing to her. Like, we're close, but are we close platonic close? Are we close romantic close? Because every time I try to pass the platonic, you push me away. But then his behavior changed as soon as, guess what? Because guys are so like this, there was another man in the picture. So Burkham, her turkey boyfriend, comes in the picture. Now Michael, her best friend who she spends all the time with, is feeling threatened. And so now his behavior has changed. He's been more touchy-feely since she met Burkham, and is acting like he wants something to become of their friendship. So guess what, Abby? She uses her words and communicates to him. Bravo, Laura.
Bravo, Laura. Laura, I love it. Don't be afraid of a confrontation. Just say things, guys. Say what you want, say what you need. And if you're with somebody who can vocalize exactly what they want and need, you got to be able to do it back.
100%. Becca, hey, Becca. Becca says her sister-in-law was a militant vegan until she got lymphoma, and now she eats fish and feels better. Yeah, like I said, you guys really know your body and get blood type, because that will really help you in life. Laura says to Michael, what is this? Are we just friends? Is it more than just friends? We have to decide, and you have to pick a way in the direction you want this to go. And she's like, what do you want? Now he answers her question with a question, which always drives me crazy.
Mm.
But what do you want? And she's like, well, I want a man who can protect me, who I can rely on, who makes me a priority, who appreciates our relationship. She breaks it down and then says, and by the way, this, if it's going to be something, there's an expiration date, because there's someone else on the sideline that I'm trying to pursue. So if you can't make a decision, just know that the decision is going to be made for you, because this is going to expire.
Bravo.
Bravo, Laura. Bravo. He says to her response to the things that she wants, the protection, priority, he says, that's what you deserve. Not, yes, I'm willing to provide those things. Not, yes, I want to be with you. Not, yes, I want to explore this. Not, yes, you're right, I want to step up to the plate. He says,
and that's what
you deserve this. You deserve that. And I appreciate a relationship. That's what he says. And he starts crying. And if you see my notes, you see no in all caps there, you guys. No. No. Now, I appreciate the fact that he is being a little vulnerable and tells us about his birth defect and the fact that he's been rejected a lot in life. So he rejects people before they reject him. But you're a grown-ass man now. This should have been worked through. There should have been therapy through that. Obviously, Laura is not looking at you like that because she spends every waking minute with you. So any birth defect, she's not looking at that. She loves you as a person. She actually was making first moves to be with you romantically, and you're putting up walls and not using your words. And now she's met someone else, and now you want to step up to the plate, but you haven't done any work. So you're gonna take her off her destiny so that she can be with you just to F it up because you haven't done the back work on yourself. That makes no sense to me. Makes no sense to me. You have to deal with that trauma. You have to deal with who you are as an individual. You have to accept love wholeheartedly and openly so that the love that you are receiving, you can give back. Because oftentimes you're receiving all this love and absorbing it and being selfish with it and not giving it back to your partner. And that's not okay. And that's what I see is going on here. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Laura deserves to be fully loved. Michael, you deserve to be fully loved as well, but you need to deal with your childhood trauma. And from what I've seen in this episode, you have yet to do that.
You haven't. You haven't. And it's not that difficult, you guys. If you're friends with a woman and you would like to pursue her romantically, just be direct. I would like to take you on a date. Oh yeah, we go out to eat all the time. No, I want to take you out on a date. Do make an effort to do something different than the usual typical what you do every single day. Change the scenery, make it very clear this is a romantic outing.
That's it. That's it. That's all. 100%. 100%. Last couple we meet, which is by far not all the couples, but the last couple we meet is Rick, which I'll pop him on stage right here, who's 52 from California, Los Angeles, our second Los Angeles participant, and Trisha, who is 25 from Madagascar. I'm going to go ahead and let you say your overall thoughts first.
So someone got on to me when I did a little overview introducing all of the couples on TikTok. I said, oh, I hope they work out. They're cute together, right? And somebody was like, you hope they work out? That's a crazy age difference. There shouldn't be a 52-year-old dating a 25-year-old. And so I went back and looked at it and was like, oh God, you're right. Why I accidentally just rooted for everyone black without looking at anything further. So yeah, their age difference is an issue. It's even more of an issue because we learned that Rick has 3 adult children. You should not have adult children dating someone who's in the same age as your adult children. So that is already an issue. They also have one of Linda's 5 things that you always are supposed to like hash out when you're trying to be in a relationship with somebody. They already have one of those issues glaring, just red flag blowing in the wind.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Rick, I'm going to say for 52, you look amazing. But 52, I feel like you need age appropriate. And it's just giving me passport bro, your 25-year-old, red flags. I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but your girl who's in Madagascar in a different time zone, you don't speak to her for 5 days, and all of a sudden she's all these things that you don't trust. Sounds like a you problem, not a her problem, because you're 52 years old, you should know better. I don't know, something about him, and even like all his scenes were giving me 1990s vibe, from his thing to like how he talked to all the things. I was like, you know, some people like peak and then they stay in that era, and they that's everything that he was giving me. That being said, he's a small business owner. Shout out to, you know, Black business. Temple Future, I think that's called. I want to shout that out. Raw extensions. I'm all about extensions. So, you know, shout out to that. Don't know. I'm not endorsing. I'm just saying I'm supporting Black business. But he has like a hair and wig extension business. Started it with his ex because his ex was a hairstylist. He gets apparently good hair. I don't know. Again, I don't know anything about it. But he gets his hair from India. He has ups and downs, but his busy season is during tax season, where he gives the stereotype that everyone has money during that. So it's very seasonal. He also is a tap dancer, and he teaches tap dancing. So he has a business. He's a tap dancer. And also 52, he has 5 kids. We don't know how many baby mamas, but we do know that 3 of the kids are grown and 2 are young, 10 and younger children, babies. And 10, I'm being very generous, y'all, very generous. They're young. Like, take them on the swings and swing them around young.
Mm-hmm.
And he only says 2 young sons from his most recent marriage. So how many baby mamas do you have? How many times have you been married? We already know that you have 5 kids. I'm not sure, like, I don't know what tap dancing pays. I don't know how many tap dancing classes you teach. And I don't know how well your business is doing, but like 5 kids is a lot of babies. It's a lot of babies. And if you're married and divorced multiple times, that means there's child support in there. There's you got a lot going on.
Yeah.
And you're worried about a 25-year-old not calling you for 5 days. I don't know. But he says he loves being a dad. His girlfriend, Trisha, is 25 from Madagascar. They asked him, because she lives in the capital, and they asked him, he's like, I don't know. Let me Google's it. Antanavaria. Wait, I'm saying it wrong now too, because I'm talking so much crap. Antonovivio, right?
And you know what? It sounds good to me. I don't know how to say it.
That's how you say it. Oof. See, that's what happens. Instant karma. So here's the other red flag that I had. So he said he went on a recent trip to Madagascar that sounded like a passport bro trip. He met 2 women on the dating site. He messaged them daily, okay, in the app. And Trisha was one of the women that he messaged. So, you know, when they say on apps, a lot of guys just like swipe. They don't even care. They just sounds like what this was a little bit. You met 2 women, and Trisha being the younger, hotter one, that's the one that you're going for, not because you guys have anything in common or whatever. You know, you have a son who's older than the woman that you're saying that you are in love with. Your son is 29. She's 25. You're 27. You're a whole grown person a whole grown person older than her. Love is love, but like, stop it. What do you have in common? What do you have in common with your 5 babies? You should be focusing on that, because 2 of them are like 5 and 6. And you said that's from your most recent marriage. So when did that end? That you now are jumping into something else? Like y'all, I have too many questions. What is really going on here? What is really going on here?
So I had the same questions you had, plus one more, which was, I'll ask you, Chat and Linda, should the kids be involved in who you're dating at that age?
First of all, absolutely friggin' not. So you're FaceTiming with your babies and saying that Trisha's coming over soon. You don't know that. You met her one time. She's 25 years old. So you're involving your children who you don't trust her, you said, because she didn't call you after 5 days, but you're introducing them to your children, your babies, not even the grown ones who are adults and can make their own decisions, your babies. So then now they're going to get attached to her, and then she may or may not come over, but you've developed this whole situation that they're now going to have to detach themselves from if it doesn't work out. Doesn't make sense to me at all, because you haven't even established the foundation of your relationship yet. So why are you now introducing random people that you may or may not work out? Makes no sense to me. That's irresponsible. But then you know, 5 babies with I don't know how many mamas, 3 grown, 2 young. That's already telling me who you are, Mr. Tap Dancer. I'm sorry. Not sorry.
Yeah.
Tell me how you really feel, Linda. I will.
Did you get it all out, dear?
I did.
You
Okay,
did.
the third personal thing I'll tell you, and it's so funny because I see on Instagram how like uh guys will be in like they'll be in a relationship and they'll do this thing, like one thing that men can do that women can't do, and then they'll stand in front of the camera and they just won't say anything, and the girl will beside them like asking questions like, oh, like what are we doing, like what do we have to say, and then they'll start mimicking what they do, like, oh, we're standing like this, okay, when does it start, like all the questions. I am that person. So this how can I explain this? I was out and I was wondering like what is this situation, right? So the person's just like being quiet, and so I was like, well, what is this, like are we doing this? I was talking about like the sunlight. I was like, oh, the lighting's good, and they kept going on, and then all of a sudden Abby, I just started laughing because I realized I am that person. I like to absorb information and knowledge, and the more I know, I feel like I make informed decisions for myself. But when you just blanketly say it XYZ and then you leave it at that, I'm gonna have some questions. And you like to know that. Look how much I talk right now. So I was doing all this talking and then I just bursted out laughing because I was realizing, oh, we're doing this thing where it's like, can you just not talk?
Right. Well, I used to say that I'm not really a ride or die because I have questions. That's probably the same thing. Like, I need to know what are we doing this for? What are we standing up for? Like in my younger years, a girlfriend came into my parents' house and was like, "Put your boots on. We're going to fight this girl right now." And I was like, I have questions.
Facts.
Yeah.
So Rick goes over to his sister's house. So it's Mika, her sister, Isaac, his brother-in-law, Dougie, his son, who's 29, older than his girlfriend, Trisha, who's 25, alleged girlfriend, and Doug, his dad. They're all like having barbecue, talking about Trisha and the 5 days that he wasn't able to get a hold of her. And the excuses that he said that she gave was that she was dealing with the police, and then her motorcycle got stolen, and her ex-boyfriend got picked up for robbing someone. So he didn't hear from her 5 days. His words, she ghosted him. And he doesn't believe her. He is also insecure because he found out that her ex-boyfriend has money. He doesn't have money like that because, he has 5 kids. He's on a budget. And so now, instead of dealing with his own insecurities about providing and money and having a bunch of babies and a bunch of baby mamas, he's flipping it on her, saying she's hiding something, which I absolutely could not stand. Like, again, you just showed us your insecurities, but you're flipping it on the 25-year-old who is living her 25-year-old life. Think about when you were 25, you were in the streets for the streets, doing all the things. Yeah, you were working on yourself, but you're also finding yourself. So this 52-year-old is saying these all things could be true. She could be dealing with the police. She could have been pulled over for speeding. Someone could have stole her motorcycle. That could have happened. She could be dating a bad boy who, yes, is robbing and thieving and now is in prison, but she likes him because he's a bad boy. All of those things could be true. Why is she now the problem?
Yeah. And just like Becca said, if those things are true, then why aren't you expressing any kind of concern for her? If your fiance said that to you, wouldn't you be concerned? But like you said earlier, I just tend to think that if you're going to be in a long distance relationship like this, that you're not truly dating until you meet each other at least one time in person. So if she was dating somebody else during that time, like somebody was visiting her during that time, I just think that's her business. Y'all haven't met in person yet. How can you make her be exclusive with you?
Plus, you're 27 years older than her.
Right.
Stop it.
You're 27 years older. And the thing is, you're the one who's decided to continue the relationship after the 5-day thing happened. So if it made you uncomfortable, just stop talking to her.
That
But
part.
instead, you're continuing the relationship and then bringing the issue up constantly. Just don't do it. It's like when you go to therapy, when you have one partner who is unfaithful, right? And you go to therapy, one of the things they tell you is that there's going to come a point where you can't keep asking questions about this. Are you okay? Like, if you're going to continue the relationship, you have to accept that at some point you can't keep bringing this up and asking questions about it or trying to throw it in their face. If you can't do that, then exit the relationship.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for the trophy, expect the trophy. Stop messing around.
Right.
Period. Full stop. All right, I have one last question before we wrap it up for this episode. So they're over at the sister's house, and the dad says something super interesting. And just as a Black Canadian, born and raised in Canada, I come across this oftentimes in America. The dad says, "Are you even Black if you don't know how to play dominoes?" Abby, could you answer that, please?
I am a disgrace because I cannot play dominoes. But here's the thing. Nobody teaches you how. Like I learned how to play spades by being thrown into spades games at the lodge hall after just watching for a few times. Like I've watched my dad and my uncles and cousins play dominoes so many times, and maybe it's just a part of like the dyslexia. I don't get it. But nobody will sit down and teach you how to play.
So here's the thing. As a Black girl from Canada, we didn't grow up with dominoes. I don't know anything about dominoes. And here's the thing. In Los Angeles, no one will teach you dominoes. They'll be at a table all playing dominoes. Hey, I would love to learn. No one's going to teach you. You want to go on YouTube and say, hey, show me the directions on how to play dominoes. No one's going to properly teach you. I don't know what it is. It's like, hey, you should just know it, but no one wants to take the time to teach you. It's very catch-22-ish. And I'm just trying to say, if you guys are watching, do you know how to play dominoes? And would you teach someone who didn't know how to play dominoes how to play dominoes? Or are you just being a snobby 2x4? I'd like to know. I'd like to know. Because what you're not about to say is, oh, Linda, you're Canadian, that's why. No, I see y'all slamming the things, shaking it around. And if I'm going to be honest, hold on. I'm going to put this like this.
She's going to get the microphone. I'm 100% sure. She is going to get the microphone on us. I have mine right here.
But 2021, during the pandemic, I was so mad at y'all with the friggin' dominoes. I have a whole domino set. Look, not even open, plastic still on it. And you know what? You know what's crazy about this, y'all? So I bring my dominoes for someone to teach me how to play dominoes, and they made fun because they're blue. And they're supposed to be white. And so do I know how to play dominoes anymore? No. Do I have a cute blue domino set sitting in the house? There's no dust because I'm not like that, but pretend there's dust. Having dust, yeah. Don't know what it means, but I have some.
I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you because I never learned dominoes. But if I wasn't just like a kid at the lodge hall, I would have not learned how to play spades. Well, I didn't learn how to play spades. It was just, we need a fourth player. You get in. And I just had to figure it out.
Someone wants to teach me. Let me know.
You use dominoes to teach math.
I have no idea how to play dominoes. I teach kindergarten. I use dominoes to teach math. You know what? I am not mad at you. I love that. I love that. Love it. All right, you guys, that is it. So Monday and Fridays are going to be our days. Monday, we are the other way. And Fridays, we are before the 90 days. We love having you guys here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Happy Friday. We will see you on Monday. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And you know what? Tell a friend to tell a friend. And dear TLC, we've been covering this since AfterBuzz days. I'm a little left out in the cold with this holiday party that I did not get invited to. I mean, and I shoulda, woulda, coulda, woulda been there.
I had a cute dress I could have worn too, TLC.
Facts.
Bring us in.
Loop-de-loop. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Rude. Yeah, Becca, rude.